Welcome to the North Texas Community Co-Op, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, Kim Johnson with the Kim Johnson Group, Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners, Cindy Durance with Right at Home, In-Home Care and Assistance, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, and Meena Singh with College Prep Coach. The North Texas Community Co-op was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our hosts, co-hosts, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being professional, along with the opportunity for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the North Texas Community Co-op starts now.
Good morning. Welcome to the North Texas Community Co-op, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. Buckle up, folks. I'm Clarence Jorif, your host, and the proud president and CEO of the Compound Nevada, where adrenaline meets discipline at our premier shooting range. We specialize in blending high-caliber safety with a healthy dose of excitement. Today, we're setting our sights on something special, an engaging roundtable with dynamic business leaders shaking up the status quo. So chamber your curiosity, zero in on inspiration, and let's pull the trigger on a conversation that hits the mark. At this time, I'd like to welcome our dynamic co-host and intriguing guest. First up is Cindy Durance, Community Liaison with Right at Home North Texas. From the high-stake halls of the Texas Medical Center to the heartwarming world of elder care, Cindy has spent 25 years turning compassion into action. Since 2005, she's blended healthcare know-how with a flair for fundraising, championing seniors and causes that matter. Now in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, she continues to serve with purpose, providing home care solutions by day and nonprofit magic by night. A board member of the Senior Service Alliance and the Collin County Veteran Coalition, aka the Command Team, Cindy knows her way around a mission. Golf tournaments, she's your ringer. Community impact, that's her specialty. Hey, Cindy.
How are you?
So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, jumping right into it, I got a question for you. What's this thing about a weird delicacy between orange juice and pizza?
When I was growing up, my best friend, we would like take turns eating at each other's house, and her parents never drank soda. So they gave us orange juice, and I really started liking it. And I kind of kept that going on. When I would go home, we would eat pizza. My dad actually would buy soda for us. And like, no, I'll drink the orange juice. And they all looked at me like I was crazy.
Wow.
They just passed it on. I really do like it.
Cool. That's a nice segue between pizza and orange juice.
Yeah.
Let's get into our next guest, our next co-host. See, I abbreviate it with Dr. Meena Singh. She's the founder and college prep coach. Let's meet the college admissions powerhouse who can draw a flawless henna tattoo while stopping the show on live TV by choking. Now that's a mic drop moment. As the founder of College Prep Coach, she's helped hundreds of students stand out with originality and distinction. Get ready as Dr. Singh brings her signature blend of strategy, soul, and a splash of Kung Fu Panda wisdom to help us crack the code on mentoring with a growth mindset. Meena?
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey, it is awesome to have you. Wow. So I'm a Kung Fu Panda fan. I would answer myself as Master Viper, the sly strategist.
Yes.
What's your connection with Kung Fu Panda?
So I grew up watching a lot of animation, and I loved Kung Fu Panda because he could eat everything and still be good slayer and a good fighter. And I always thought, like, how could he accomplish that? So I'll try to do it in my real life, do a lot of things at the same time and
So do
challenge
you have
myself.
any kung fu skills?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're more panda than kung fu. So I got it. That's
Yes.
cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Let's move on to our guest, Tony Singh, Mayor Pro Tem and District 2 Council Member from the town of Little Elm, Texas. From engineering equations to community engagement, Tony Singh's story is all about connections with people, pets, and purpose. Originally from India, Tony moved to Texas in 2003, earned dual master's degrees, met his wife, Crystal, and together they planted roots in Little Elm in 2011. A lover of logic with a soft spot for four-legged companions, Tony brings 15 years of telecom experience in his role as technical training manager at Solid. Beyond the office, he's a volunteer powerhouse, serving with the police, fire department, Make 380 Safe, and the Planning and Zoning Commission. Whether simplifying tech or sparking civic pride, Tony leads with heart, hustle, and a serious knack for service. Tony?
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Singh.
Hey,
Thank you so much for inviting us.
and who's that wonderful person sitting right next to you?
My beautiful wife, Crystal Singh.
Hello, I'm Crystal Singh. Happy to be here.
Good. We'll get to you in a second, Crystal. But check this out. Tony, what's this I hear about you and cars? You got something kind of funky that goes on with you and cars? What's that?
So me and cars, because of my wife, she loves cars. I love to pay for the cars. So that's what happens. And I wanted to, unfortunately, we always believe in how you can turn tragedy into something meaningful. So in 2020, she went to a doctor appointment, she went to coma, and she always loved a car, but we always had one car. So when she was not doing best, I promised her I'll buy you a muscle car and truck.
Nice.
So she bought the truck, but if you see her truck, she did an amazing job getting a deep
Wrap on
wrap
it.
up there.
Wrapped.
Yeah. And
It's
the
a
wrap,
lion.
it's a lion wrap. So Singh basically means lion. So she put lion on it, and it's a very unique. You can see it, and you'll just remember it.
Probably from a mile away.
Yes.
It glows in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Is it?
That's what happened when you spend time with your police and fire department. So she made it like to glow. So if you come up there, it really glows. So
All right.
that's my
What
connection
kind of a
with
truck
cars.
is it, Crystal?
It's a Ram 1500.
That's a big truck. That's a big
Yes.
truck.
And
Well-
I bought a truck now. We bought a GMC Denali recently.
He
So
wanted his own truck now, so had to go there.
But there's something different, Tony. What's this about you getting into cars and falling asleep?
I do, because she joked about how horrible driver I am, so she doesn't let me drive.
Mhm.
So she drives and I just enjoy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is going to be an interesting segment between our co-hosts and our guests. We're going to kick this off real good. So right now, coming up next, we're going to address what's happening in our North Texas communities. We're talking about big updates, important events, and insider information that you'll want to know. Stick around. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The North Texas Community Co-Op is made possible by Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, Kim Johnson with the Kim Johnson Group, Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Cindy Durance with Right at Home, in-home care and assistance, and by Meena Singh, College Prep Coach. The North Texas Community Co-Op. Local voices, real issues, conversations that matter. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's up, North Texas?
Yes. What's up, North Texas? This is our outlining where we outline our community topics such as events, hirings, and new business opening. So I'm going to kick off with the first one, which is a day of service. The day of service applies specifically to Rockwall. So with that having been said, it's a day for us to join together with Meals on Wheels. They're going to depart directly from the meeting around 9:30 at the center in Rockwall to the service projects. This is hosted by the Rockwall County Republican Men's Club. That meeting is held at 108 East Washington Street in downtown Rockwall. It's right next to the City Hall and right across from the City Center. What they're going to do is they want you prepared to come to work. Get your hands dirty. The projects include replacing bricks in a brick home and a mobile home. They're going to repair wood ramps. There's going to be mowing involved. So if you have any allergies, keep that in mind and make sure and get that Claritin on board. Gutter cleaning and general cleanup. What you'll have to do is they have a link on their website. Click ticket link to sign up below. That's the first one up. Next one is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's Leadership Rockwall, which is presented by the Rockwall Chamber of Commerce, is soliciting new members or class members for the upcoming Rockwall class of 2026. Well, being proud to have been in Rockwall class of 2023, the greatest of all time, this is where we sit there and we interactively give each other a hard time. But it's about learning about Rockwall, everything from our government to the individual agencies, to the individual community service projects and community service agencies that make us better. So to become a part of that, the big thing is they're taking their applications and accepting applications. You need to go to their website, which is, let's see, it's going to be on the Rockwall Chamber of Commerce website. They're accepting applications for the class of 2026. As stated, the dynamic immersive program is designed to cultivate, engage, and inform leaders by providing exclusive, behind-the-scenes access to Rockwall County's key industries, institutions, and influencers. From government and public safety to an education and economic development, participants gain a deeper understanding of what makes our community thrive. Applications are due Monday, August 11th, 2025. Go to the Rockwall Chamber of Commerce website for that information. And last but not least, this is my favorite, 4th of July. Join us for a full day of celebrating the 4th of July the Rockwall way. The city of Rockwall will be holding our annual Independence Day Parade starting at 11 a.m. It'll start at Wilkinson Standard Stadium and proceed all the way to Dobbs Elementary. Bring out the family to see all of the patriotic floats featured in the parade that are pieced together with all of our great local businesses and organizations. But wait, there's more. At 6:30, there is a commemorative flyover by a old, I think it's a C-31 aircraft that people actually jump out of. I get the call of those individuals as they come down. Being former Army, a parachutist, airborne myself, I started off at 6'5". I remained at 6'5". I didn't lose any height. But the big thing about it is you get to see people falling from the sky legally and safely as they enjoy the kickoff of the festival that continues that day. That's all I got from Rockwall. Cindy?
All right. Well, I didn't have a poster. There's no poster or anything for this, but I was at the gas station at the corner of McDermott and Waters Road in Allen. It's a 7-Eleven. And there was a sign on the door I took a picture of, and it says, "We understand that schools are closed and that some families rely on school lunches. So Monday through Friday from 11 to 12, kids under the age of 18 and younger can have a slice of pizza, banana apple, piece of fruit with a big gulp on us." So they are really stepping up and contributing to the community, and I just think it's amazing.
Yeah.
No, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does make a difference. It makes a huge difference. And whoops, I lost it. And then On July 9th, I'm part of a program with 3 others, a organizer and tidy expert, Leanne Holt, a gentleman named Garrett Link that is very fluent in VA, Medicare, Medicaid subjects, and assisted living locator Tracy Duff. I'm supporting home care, and we are offering empowered aging. We're taking it on the road, and we're going to go to the different senior centers and churches and educate them on their potential possibilities of when they age. What can they do to age wisely and keep their options open with confidence? So that's our goal.
Cool. As a vet, as I mentioned before, the VA benefits are very, very important. Luckily, I have outside health care, but that's the only thing that those guys and gals have to rely on. So thank you for being able to offer that.
Yes.
Meena?
Yes, I have something very exciting. So from our power couple that is here. So let me introduce Crystal Singh. She is an inspired community leader who currently is spearheading a heartfelt fundraiser for the Little Elm Shelter. And with her compassion and dedication, Crystal is making a real difference for families and individuals in need right here in Little Elm. Right, Crystal? And I want you to talk more about your latest fundraiser that you have, Saber Saves Lives.
Okay.
Welcome, Crystal.
Hello, everyone. So recently, I started a fundraiser for called Saber Saves Lives. The reason being that recently we lost our beautiful cat named Saber to a car accident, and the gist of it is basically the young man that ran over our cat. He stopped and he was extremely remorseful. He was crying, he was hurting. And despite all of that, I still told him, look, I love you, but you're going to help me get another cat too. So, so I said, you know what? But the young man felt guilty. When I say young man, he's like 20. So I said, you know what? I want to start something to help heal both of our hearts, which is in memory of Saber. So I created Saber Saves Lives in order to, I'm like, well, to bring out of this tragedy can come hope, right? By helping other animals in need. I personally love to help a lot of people, and I don't like to see anyone suffer, be it human or animal. And so because of this, we went to Little Lamb Animal Shelter and talked to them, our local shelter here, and asked them, what do you need? And they gave us a list of items. And so the young man and I have been collecting as much as we can, items, money, anything that we want to be able to help at the shelter. And ultimately, we're going to deliver all these things and then pick out 1 or 2 animals there and pay for their adoption fees, so that someone in need that would love to have a pet but can't afford it, here's a free one available to you. And so all the fundraising, all the donations, everything I can get over time will be really wonderful. And so I wanted to really share that with all of you. So we're taking Zelle, which is my phone number, 817-797-2662. We're taking Venmo, which is Hindsight CJS, all one word. And then we have a list from the shelter. If anyone in Denton County, Collin County is around here, call me. We could arrange a pickup or something like that. That would be wonderful. But ultimately, I realized for him especially that the guilt on him, here's a young man that wants to do something, but he doesn't know what to do. And so my mind was, how can I help him? Yes, I'm hurting, but he's hurting too. I have compassion, and I want to show him that love that I believe God gave all of us in our hearts. And so doing this gave him something to do, and it's healing both of our families.
That is awesome. That's the gift of giving back to someone to make a difference. So how did the cat get out?
It was just, he ran outside. He's an indoor outdoor cat to begin with, and so he came from underground and adopted us, and we cared for him for his entire life, which was only 5 years, by the way. So he was a young baby.
You're making a big difference in his life and the others of other animals also. So thank you so much. Tony, do you have anything to add?
No, like I said, we always have tragedies up there, but how we get out of tragedy and how we can help others, that's important. And, he came in life. I remember the winter storm. He was supposed to be my cat, but then he loved her so much that he became her cat. But I still remember winter storm. He was outside and we cajoled him to come inside. And then after that, he thinks our house is a hotel. So he used to go in and out all the time. And he was a very smart cat. And it was sad to lose him. The young gentleman who hit him, we know him from a kid to grow up. So, and we know how sad he was and how much hurtful he was. So I was very thankful for my wife that she thought about something to help heal both of them, help him to grow, because tragedies will happen in life, but how you come out of it, what you can do, make best out of it.
Exactly. That loss there is going to be a benefit for someone else. So thank you so much for that.
I want to tie in Meals on Wheels with this. Meals on Wheels also takes pet food donations for their clients, that many of them have pets. And I know from experience, they will give their animal a meal before they will eat. So keep that in mind too when you're donating to Meals on Wheels.
All righty. Thank you so much for that input. Well, up next, we're going to look at our third segment, which is our social topic. We're going to talk about low voter turnout. It affects us as a community. It affects our businesses, and it's something that we need to think about. As I know that the voting cycle just went through, but there's more coming. So with that, let's go to commercial break.
This summer, the Community Difference is stepping onto one of the biggest stages in sports, as we've been granted official media access to the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. This isn't just golf. This is excellence, dedication, precision, leadership. The same values that drive champions on the course are the ones that build championship communities. At the Community Difference, we're more than media. We're a movement. We don't just show up, we connect, engage, and highlight the people and places making an impact. From city halls to championship fairways, our mission stays the same. Shine the spotlight where it belongs, on the difference makers. Join us all month long in June as we celebrate the people, partners, and professionals who bring the PGA to life. Tune in June 5th and June 19th on our Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn channels, as we interview and share the untold stories of what makes the PGA a true difference maker for Frisco, Collin County, and Denton County. Because for us, it's never just about the event, it's about the impact. From championship fairways to thriving cities, the Community Difference exists to connect, elevate, and inspire. The Community Difference, where champions of sport and champions of community come together.
So we're back. We're going to address a topic for this afternoon, which is low voter turnout. No better thing just to do is just to jump right into it. So low voter turnout can have lasting consequences for a democracy, shaping governance and policy for years to come. Today, we're going to discuss the cause and effects of low voter turnout and long-term effects on our community. The big thing is to keep in mind is that the low voter turnout can have ripple effects on the economy and business environment, often in ways that people don't immediately see. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our esteemed panel. Whoever wants to jump in first, what are some key long-term effects that can be experienced?
So,
Poor
go ahead,
quality
Cynthia.
of life, I would think, because what I have noticed, I blocked walk for some candidates in McKinney, Texas, and a lot of it, people were very apathetic, but they were very hungry to get on Facebook and look at the garbage and the gossip, where videos had been tampered with, things like that. And the people with the propaganda ran the post. And if they said anything that you didn't like or they didn't like, they, you were berated beyond compare, or you were blocked. So there's those kinds of tactics. I think people are like, ooh, I'm backing off. I don't know what I'm going to do. Whereas if someone goes to the door and says, hey, I'm here for Mr. Smith. We support him because of A, B, and C. We'd like you to come out and vote for him. That has more impact, a more positive impact. And I think that does both of those things. I don't think we'll know the full impact of how it affects our businesses until people are in office.
What are your thoughts on that, Meena?
So I think that's what happens, that, the voters then get swayed by people who are just ranting on the community, these platforms, rather than going out and seeing and meeting. And the few that they see, they don't like it because it's too negative. And I saw that in Frisco. I would like to draw in Tony in this conversation. I think he would have a great insight on this question. How the elections are, people are becoming apathetic and they don't want to go and vote. I have so many of my friends and they're not letting their younger kids also vote. So I feel that's a great question for Tony also.
What do you got, Tony?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, Clarence, it have a very big impact. Local election have more impact on your day-to-day life compared to state or federal level. The impact of state or federal level you can see for a long time, but a city level election, local election impact you see next day. Whether you don't spend money on your roads, want to get new businesses up there, or somebody's building a apartment complex next to your house, so you see impact pretty quickly. Uh, people, challenges people don't know. A lot of time they don't feel the impact, but that's the job of a elected official or volunteers to get them more involved up there. So I always tell people, it's going to impact you pretty quickly. It's going to have a meaningful impact in life that compared to other elections, so get involved more. Surely, like Cynthia mentioned, there's always elections can be very challenging because the different medias you have nowadays. You have Facebook, you have Nextdoor, Instagram. So there's a lot of different media you have. But I always believe that there's nothing better than go knock at door. You go meet somebody in person, you can talk to them, and that makes a big impact. And that's what volunteer comes up. That's where the leader comes up. Like, hey, go start knocking the doors, talking to people, and that's make a difference. But
So,
yes.
having been directly affected by that, also the mindset there, and you hit it, Cindy. It's this much truth, maybe 25%, maybe even 15% truth. The other part of it, the other 85% is minutia. The minutia is, what do I need to tell you to sway you to believe me and not be truthful? That's the problem out there. And those of us that are loyal, honest, have honesty, integrity, we fight that battle because we won't go down to those levels. But guess what? It happens.
Mhm.
So the big thing that we find, and piggybacking off of what you said, Tony, our public spending priorities may become directly impacted.
Mm-hmm.
When people don't get out there, when businesses don't get involved, less investment in infrastructure, education, or workforce development, those are the areas that we see that are directly impacted local business growth. And as you said, our small cities, our local businesses are the core of our existence. Because guess what? Those local businesses, they're the ones that our tax base come from. our big business also has a big part in that, especially here in Rockwall. But it's mom and pop. Mom and pop add the flavor, add the flair of who we are and what we do. And if they're not involved, it's not a thing.
Yep, totally right.
What I think is bad, for example, the mayoral runoff election in McKinney had less than 10,000 people vote in a city of 200,000. And what I have found is, being from a smaller community of 60,000, 53,000-ish, there was a feeling that they had more to lose if they didn't vote. And I don't know what provoked that versus a small town versus a big town. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but there was just the feeling that they had to get out and vote for the people they wanted in office, because if we don't, this town of 60,000 people is going to crumble.
Clarence, let me jump in on that real quick.
Yes, please, come on.
So there is a strategy to the mudslinging and the negativity, and it is to intentionally create apathy. Yeah. Because you got to understand something. The less people that are interested in the election, the less obstacles you have to move your agenda forward. Yeah. If you have a stronger base than your opponent has.
Yes.
Yeah. What we're coming down to right now is we're coming down in our elections. It's all about the base, right? And so when you have people that are in the middle that are trying to make that decision on who to vote for, because they're not plugged into this one candidate, or they're not plugged into the other candidate, they're not plugged into either candidate, they're waiting to find out. Well, then that he who controls the message controls the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so if they can get more people, it sounds counterproductive, but in a strategy, if I can get more people to not vote and my base is stronger than my opponents, I win. And then I can force my agenda with very little resistance.
Yes.
And piggybacking on that, Lyndon, and what's happened here in Rockwall, like we talked about, okay, so you've got 200,000 people. Wow. We've got 54,000 people. Somewhere between 7 to 8% voted. Mm-hmm. 7 to 8%. Yeah. But yet, when we hear complaints about infrastructure or roads or schools, it's the outliers that in many cases are the minority that catch the interest of everyone else, that 7 to 8%, and they're the ones that casting those votes. Mm-hmm. So the biggest problem is when turnout is low, the local economy can become less dynamic and less inclusive. Less inclusive means businesses, individuals, families, the whole 9 yards. But when more people participate, especially in shaping local leadership, so my hat's off to you, Tony, it creates a stronger foundation for equitable growth and innovation.
Yeah.
So let's see.
So I think across the North Texas, I think this is the problem. And I think I have a question for our guests. Tony, what do you think, what is your vision or insight as to how we can change this? How can we get the residents out, increase their awareness, accessibility, and remove this apathy or even decrease it?
No, I think what mentioned is, I think Lyndon mentioned very correctly. It's like nowadays, in the world of data and everything else, what it's very simple to do is you rile up your base so they all vote, and you demoralize other base not to vote. And so whenever somebody is running for election, it's not. I always say that it's not sure. It's always a planning is required. A lot of people don't sure how to run a campaign, how this thing, but there's a lot of opportunity to learn. And when you have opportunity to learn, you surely need two things, right? To outreach the program, you need a good support of volunteer set. You also need good support of money, also fundraising up there, because it's difficult to reach. But I always say that, if you want to be an elected official and want to run, get involved. Like Cynthia mentioned, she helped the campaign. Get involved your friends up there, get them involved, because one person will know 5%, the 5% will know 50%, and that's where the campaign works up there. And sometimes when we do the campaign, we forgot the human touch into it. We are very so good on Facebook and this thing, but how much time we spend on Facebook? 1 second quickly and we scroll it. Human touch, I think we forget about it. And when I think the human touch goes up there, more people participate about it. And I think that's what lacking. Connect people, relationship connection. Because if I go to somebody's house and say, hey, you know what, I'm running for this thing, I spend like 30 minutes up there, do remember that. Like I remember first time I ran an election, I knocked a lot of doors and they said, I do vote, but nobody shows up to my house. I vote every election, but nobody shows up. But since you vote up there and he spent 15 minutes with, okay, I like you, I'll vote for you. And that's the thing is like, and that gentleman helped me to make contact a couple of other friends and neighbors, and so I think the human touch is missing. I think people should spend more time human touch, planning, learning from other people who already run an election or not, how they did election, what they can do. So that's the way I believe it up there. You can get more people involved in elections. It's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not very easy. I have best friends who will vote, his wife will not vote, or his wife will vote, he will not vote. And then I always tell an example, if you don't vote, you don't have a seat in table. You cannot make a decision up there. And like Clarence mentioned in the start, it's going to impact your business, it's going to impact where you live. It just impacts your whole life pretty quickly.
You made a great point there, Tony. Couple things. The other side of that is we talked about that 7 to 8% voter apathy. They see the signs are everywhere, and it's like, here we go with that again. Yeah. They're burned out maybe from national elections. But the big thing about it is I had a man come into the range the other day, and he said where he lived. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, you look familiar. I said, yeah, I was that pretty face that was on that sign everywhere. He's like, oh, I didn't vote. I'm like, why didn't you vote? I didn't get around to it. If you're not involved in the process, you're going to get what you get, and you shouldn't throw a fit. And that's what some people capitalize on. And in capitalize on, that's to the detriment of all of us. So once again, to you, Tony, thank you so much for what you do and for what you're continuing to do. The big thing about this is we went through that really, really quick, but I'm happy with the interaction that took place with everyone. We're going to get ready for another commercial break. And when we come back after the commercial break, we're going to get into a guest deep dive. But Tony, since you're here all by yourself, we're going to share with Crystal too.
Sure.
In a few minutes.
She's the boss.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
Well, as we finished up with before, this is the best part of the show that I really like and get into. It's our guest deep dive. What we're going to do at this point in time is we're going to go ahead and explore our guest Tony's personal and professional journey, how their professional pursuits connect with and impact their communities, and what gives them that drive and desire to do what they do. Since Tony is Meena's guest, I'm going to turn him over to you and let you go ahead forward, Meena.
Hey, Tony and Crystal, thank you for being here today. And let me start with the boss first. Crystal here
That's Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal is not only an inspiring leader in the community, helping people around, but she's also an author. Crystal, you want to tell us about that?
Yes, I wrote a book called Hindsight: Witnessing God's Handiwork in Life. Basically, the book is about showing how God can orchestrate a series of events to occur for a purpose, meaning sometimes you start over here, you got to go through some things because God eventually wants you to end up over here. And the reason I wrote it is because I was on a ventilator in 2020, and a lot of things happened during that time of 6 weeks in the hospital at UT Southwestern that I feel like God really spoke to me and inspired me to write this book, because I wanted to bring hope to other people despite what challenges they may go through. You can never give up no matter what. You have to always keep fighting to live.
That is so inspiring. And now turning to Tony. Tony, I was really impressed by your quote. I heard you saying it, that it's not what you do in public as a leader, but what you do in private is what makes you a leader. So can you throw some light on that?
Yeah. And
tell us more about your journey, if I may say so.
Yeah, sure. My journey, I moved to Littleham in 2011. During that time, I was just like everybody else. Littleham was a growing town. It's a lot of different things were happening up there. But I used to remember, if there's not something right in the roads, send email to the town staff. And then towns like, you know what, we have this called, just like I think Rockwell have Leadership Academy. So, Littleham have the Citizen Government Academy. So you learn about how city works. So how town of Littleham works. So I went to the academy, learn up there. Then I joined the police academy, fire academy. And me and my wife, we love to volunteer. We always try to be volunteer, give back to the community. So I was volunteering with the town for a couple of years. During that time, I felt like the town, I always believe elected officials should be accessible. You know, their just job is like, it's even just a volunteer job. You know, you purposely taking it basically means that when people reach out with a problem, you should have time enough for them. And if you cannot do that, then you should not be elected.
Yeah.
So I felt that, you know, at that time, there was a current elected official was not doing it. So I ran against and then the gentleman moved to a different city. So we have two new candidates and then one endorsed by the establishment. But I call each of them and I say, hey, you know, let's do our campaign on what you believe in. Let's not mudslinging anybody else. And let's do the campaign that way. And we did campaign that way. In fact, I used to remember calling the other guys up there and the lady up there and say, hey, I'm going to this meeting, this HOA people. Why don't you come? And we all have good ideas. We're surely different from each other. So we did that. And in between that, surely I faced that, like people say a lot of colorful things because I'm from a different country. I speak very fast, as you can see now. And people, a lot of people didn't know me. So they took time to know me. But there was a time I was down. And I remember my wife told me one day, it's like, hey, even you don't win, you're learning the process, what required to be running for election, and I'm surely you will guide other people. And that's what I do even right now. I try to guide other people up there how to run for election, what to do, what expected from them. And then I won the election, and I always tell the funny story is while the election results were coming, the guy who ran against me and him and his wife were having dinner together. While think about in this world of today, people like fighting with each other, we were having dinner together. The lady who ran against me is still a good friend of mine. We still hang out all the time. So I was blessed to give opportunity. This is my third term. I always believe that my tagline is committed to community. And I always believe that, I should be accessible to people every time. And I do that. So I don't believe surely I do Facebook and other mediums out there, but I believe you cannot beat the personal touch. Going meet people, talking on the phone, understanding. And that's very important.
That genuine touch that you talked about, Tony, is driven by the individual. And I keep saying this, the honesty, the integrity, the person that you are. You mentioned no mudslinging, but there are times that when you're in the darkness, you have to come to light. You're the kind of person that is worthy of trust and honesty. And that's what we need in government, because people always hear about this and that and this and that. And sometimes you do those deep dives and you find out, is that the person that I actually want leading us? And that's not the case. So was that Cindy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I had another question for Crystal, because I'm very intrigued by the book. How did it feel for you to just put your life out there in black and white for people to read?
Well, honestly, it didn't bother me one bit. I've always been an open book my entire life. Short version, I've had over 100 surgeries. I got 9 organs gone, and I've almost died 8 times. Me and doctors, hospitals are like second home. So I had to get used to being open from a very young age, at like from 1 year old and stuff, my first surgery. So sharing that, I feel like all my suffering is for God's glory ultimately, and that to share that with other people is only going to benefit other people. You have cancer, I'm a cancer survivor. You have lupus, I have lupus. You have this, that, you've had hip surgeries, I've had hip surgeries. You will be fine. That's why I wanted to share that, to give hope to other people.
That's quite a testimony.
Yeah.
All the glory be to God. Always, 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 always.
And that's what people forget. Like, there's always challenge. We all run to different challenge, but God always find a path for us. We just have to open to it. And even when Crystal did this, write a book, the goal was to help people to understand that. I understand what you're going through. It's tough, but there is a light end of the tunnel. Think about that. Reach out to other people. I remember Crystal, somebody messaged Crystal on Amazon, so I had a book up there. Like, it really helped. She was going through the same thing. So I was very proud of my wife that she always give hope. That's our biggest thing. Is like her is give hope to people, so they believe that it is a light end of the tunnel. Don't worry about it.
So Tony, to close this out, let me get this one question for you and one question for Crystal, real short and succinct. What do you want to be known for when it's all said and done?
We are very known for that. Like, we always there to help people, and we always there to help our pets. So people and pets are very, very things up there.
Yes.
And
we'll be known as the helpers to society, helpers to our community.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah. My nickname is TNT.
We're getting ready to wrap up here. We're going to wrap up, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to share your contact information, and we'll go back and we'll get some final hot thoughts from both our guests and our host. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you start off with Tony.
So my biggest thing is local elections matter a lot. It's going to impact your life. I cannot put in words of how much impact your life will be, because a lot of time people which not involved, then they see something comes up. Like, for example, I've seen people have next to a house, apartment comes up there, or local businesses up there, policies come up there, we're not supporting them, and they lose business up there. So I always think city elections are very, very important. There's a saying, Either you're part of the table or you're part of the menu.
There you go. That's what I'm talking
So
about.
it's a choice you have. And not voting election basically is, people remember, politicians or people elected officials, they focus their energy on people who vote. So if you don't vote, you lose the right to get influence anything. It's a very small.
Well, let's segue to a hard worker. Dr. Meena, what are your closing thoughts?
I would say, be a politician has so much of connotations, but it's in the end, it's public service. And I feel if we can be all human and we can all have heart to help other people, that's all it is. And even I think the more we would connect to, in elections, if we connect to the voters, doesn't matter how much mudslinging, I'm sure people will go and vote if they really can connect with you. I think that's
Alrighty then. And Cindy, last but not least, who are you and how do we get in contact with you?
My name is Cindy Durance, and I can be reached at 713-446-2108. I work with Right at Home. It's a non-medical home care company. And I love serving seniors, but I'm an animal person too. I've been doing Labrador Retriever rescue for like 35 years. And I just love big dogs. I had 5 at one time, but I had plenty of room. And I just, being in the public, serving, whatever, meeting a need, that's where I like to be.
All right. That is awesome. Last but not least, I'm Clarence Jorif. I'm the host of the North Texas Co-op. I'm the president and owner of the Compound Nevada. Point of aim, point of impact. We empower individuals to be able to safeguard themselves, their families, and those around you if you choose. And y'all can take this with you. It's always better to give than to receive. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The North Texas Community Co-op is made possible by Clarence Jorif with the Compound Nevada, Kim Johnson with the Kim Johnson Group, Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Cindy Durance with Right at Home, in-home care and assistance, and by Meena Singh, college prep coach. The North Texas Community Co-op. Local voices, real issues, conversations that matter.